On this edition of Good Day DePaul, Winter 2025, the snow finally comes to DePaul. Grocery shopping, it's now a challenge at DePaul's Lincoln Park campus. And the Lunar New Year in Chicago. I'm Morgan Kirsch, and this is Good Day DePaul. For 2 months, December and January, we had almost no snow at DePaul, but recently, as I experienced, that all came to an end. The groundhog must have made a mistake this year because it doesn't feel like an early spring is in the cards for Chicago just yet. The city's first major winter storm struck Wednesday, February 12th, giving us about 6 inches of snow. DePaul University students have mixed feelings about the recent weather.
I'm ready for the spring. I don't like the cold.
It's awesome. Winter wonderland.
For DePaul student Carla Hernandez, the recent weather has made life difficult as a commuter.
It's really stressing. I'm a commuter, so for me it's really cold. The trains sometimes are delayed.
DePaul student Lupita Osorio says the storm means extra time with loved ones.
I love snow days. I have 2 baby nephews, and so I get to play with them after school since I leave a little early today.
Matthias Grappi is a DePaul student from Los Angeles and sees the storm as a rare chance to have some cold weather fun.
I'm going to Oz Park to try to build an igloo or snowman or something like that. So yeah, no, I like the snow a lot.
Osorio's secret to staying warm as a commuter? Layers.
I have 2 pairs of pants and then 3 layers on top, so just layers.
As the snowstorms drew to a close, Chicagoans dealt with a different problem. Freezing sub-zero temperatures.
As much as I like the snow, I think it's still really cold. So I am looking forward to warmer days for sure.
It's finger-freezing weather out here, so when you leave, don't forget to bring your hat and gloves. And for anyone traveling by car today, it's time to break out that ice scraper. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Morgan Kirsch. DePaul President Robert Manuel recently sent 2 emails to the university community. They dealt with the changes being imposed by the Trump administration. In the first email, Manuel said, quote, "We share your concerns about the uncertainty around changes in federal policy and know they continue to cause stress for many." Manuel went on to say that we continue to work proactively with our state and federal leaders to assess the impact that federal policy changes will have on our community. We are evaluating the impact of recent freezes to federal research grants and are working directly with the affected faculty. Manuel also said we are in a time of rapid change. He said, quote, "We may need time to evaluate and thoughtfully consider the impact of federal policy changes before sending a university message." In the second email, Manuel discussed a letter from the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. The letter prohibits race-based programming and spending at universities. It said that institutions not in immediate compliance may face federal investigation and potential loss of funding. Manuel said, quote, "We are actively assessing how this federal guidance may affect the university and will engage with our shared governance groups to inform decisions." In light of all this, the DePaul Faculty Council and the Academic Freedom Task Force held a meeting recently. Their concern, the Trump administration's targeting of academic freedom, free speech, and diversity programs in higher education. Good Day DePaul's Vivian Madsen has our report.
Universities nationwide are reeling from the so-called Dear Colleague letter sent to them by President Trump's Department of Education Office for Civil Rights. It expands the Supreme Court's 2023 ruling on affirmative action to declare all race-conscious programming, resources, and financial aid to be illegal. DePaul University faculty held a town hall to discuss possible impacts on academic freedom. A member of the Academic Freedom Task Force, religion professor Scott Paith, helped organize the forum.
In light of everything that's happened in the few weeks since the beginning of the second Trump administration, there are all sorts of threats to academic freedom that we're facing right now, and we as a university want to make sure that we're taking a very strong stand on behalf of academic freedom.
The Associate Provost for DEI, Valerie Johnson, said academic freedom is the right of faculty and students to teach, learn about, research, and publicly participate in societal matters. Universities, the letter says, have 2 weeks to comply with its demands or risk their federal funding. At DePaul, that means research grants and financial aid are in danger. The speakers at the forum made it clear that they feel the letter is a direct violation of civil rights and that it's not yet legally binding. Psychology professor and Academic Freedom Task Force member Christine Reyna says faculty shouldn't change what they're doing just yet.
And the problem with these executive orders is they're intentionally vague so that nobody has clarity, because when you don't have clarity, you have fear, and when you have fear, you engage in that that preemptive obedience I talked about that we shouldn't be doing.
Faculty at the meeting emphasized the importance of all DePaul community members to get involved in any way.
The principles of academic freedom that we stand for at this university also apply to students in their research, in their public participation, in their protest, in all of those dimensions of expression that are part of university life.
Many here feel communication and solidarity are key in forming structures that protect academic freedom.
There needs to be sort of an established and reliable pathway for communicating things, not just, in both directions actually, right? So not just communicating, forthcoming policies and how they might impact students, but also communicating students' concerns or things that they're afraid of up into the pipeline so that those can be preemptively addressed and protected ahead of time. Because if we're just reacting, then that's when people get hurt.
The concern here is that no one seems to know what the future is for the teachings and programs that have been essential to universities' efforts to include those who have been historically excluded. For now, the Academic Freedom Task Force is taking steps to try to ensure protection for academic freedom. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Vivian Madsen.
DePaul's Lincoln Park campus is surrounded by all kinds of shops and stores, but it's missing one key store, a supermarket. Good Day DePaul's Francesca Corona explains. Just a few years ago, DePaul students had plenty of grocery stores within walking distance, but now major grocery store options are harder to find. Whole Foods on Fullerton shut down, and other stores like the Dom's on Lincoln Avenue have also closed in recent years.
I go to Trader Joe's because they don't have enough options at Target.
Right behind me used to be a go-to stop for DePaul students to buy groceries, but now, with fewer options nearby, students are finding it harder to shop for their essentials. The nearest major grocery stores are now a long walk or even a train ride away. That leaves many students relying on expensive convenience stores or smaller markets with limited fresh food options. 21-year-old DePaul student Megan Henderson says not having a major grocery store nearby makes it harder to buy her weekly necessities.
It's honestly really inconvenient, and groceries are just like a basic necessity, and it's a lot harder to be able to get those on a weekly basis.
For students juggling classes, work, and tight budgets, traveling miles just to get fresh food isn't always realistic. That's where DePaul's Basic Needs Hub says it is stepping in, offering food assistance and resources to students struggling with food access. Rick Morisi, Associate VP of Student Auxiliary Services at DePaul, says that the Basic Needs Hub is much more than just shelf food.
We realized that in order to really meet the needs of students, yes, we needed shelf-safe food, so that still exists, but we also have refrigerated foods, fresher foods. We have a freezer in both locations, so we do have frozen foods.
To access the Basic Needs Hub, you do have to sign up by filling out a form, but Morisi says the hub changed by offering home necessities as well.
And we changed it from a food pantry to a Basic Needs Hub because we also started offering things like home needs like can openers or paper towels or soaps and toothpaste and things like that. So we really and we partner with the Career Center to offer career clothing for students who are like interviewing and going to internships and things like that. So it really has become a hub because we offer, quite a bit more in terms of those resources now.
But while the Basic Needs Hub helps some, students say a permanent solution like a new grocery store in Lincoln Park is still needed.
Help open another grocery store for all of their students that need food.
For now, grocery shopping for students just takes more time, more money, or both. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Francesca Corona.
The Lunar New Year. It's once again being celebrated in Chicago. Good Day DePaul's Aaron Gessert has our report.
Traditionally, we do it the week after the official Lunar New Year because a lot of our businesses and residents like to celebrate that on their own. This is an opportunity for the entire community to get together and celebrate a new year.
Lunar New Year celebrations have been in full swing since January 29th, marking the start of the Year of the Snake. The snake is said to represent healing and rebirth. On Chicago's north side, that sentiment was brought to life. Residents got the chance to check out a snake exhibit, where they could get up close and even hold the snakes, all leading up to the celebrations down Argyle Street.
The Lunar New Year Parade on Chicago's north side and uptown is set to kick off at 1 p.m. Even with a little snow, hundreds of residents are still out here, ready to celebrate the Year of the Snake.
Dozens of local community groups, schools, and cultural organizations marched down Argyle as the parade made its way to Broadway Street. For residents like Clarissa Steinbrecher, showing up was a way for her to support others in her community.
Yeah, I've had this on my calendar for a while. I've just been looking forward to it. It's also a great way to support minority-owned businesses and put out positive energy at a time when things at the federal level are really messed up.
2025 marked the 42nd year Uptown has had an organized Lunar New Year celebration.
We have a long history of the AAPI community and honestly all immigrant communities coming to Uptown. Our diversity is part of our strength.
For Good Day DePaul, I'm Aaron Gessert.
Coming up on Good Day DePaul, a tough stretch for the DePaul basketball teams. Those stories and more when we return.
Matchsticks, matchbox, matching tie to matching socks. You don't know why, but you're really special to match point, match game. You and I are not the same, but I can tell that you're really special to me. There is something I can give to make you laugh, to help you live. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me. We're the perfect match, and you're really special to me.
In sports, the DePaul men's basketball team lost their third in a row, falling to Xavier 85-68. In women's basketball, the Blue Demons have lost 2 in a row against Villanova and Marquette. In softball, DePaul split 2 games at the Skyhawk Classic in Tennessee, beating the University of Tennessee Martin but losing to Purdue Fort Wayne. The Blue Demons are now 4-4 on the season. In women's tennis, DePaul has lost 3 in a row to Iowa, Purdue, and Tulsa. They're now 4-5 on the season. In men's tennis, the Blue Demons beat Grand Canyon, but lost to Indiana. They're now 4-5 this season. Coming up, a major gift to the DePaul Law School. Stay with us.
The flu is unpredictable and can be serious. Who needs to be vaccinated against the flu? You. Get a flu vaccine. For more information, www.flu.gov.
The DePaul Law School is receiving a major donation. It comes from alum Jack Martin. The $2.5 million gift establishes the Jack Martin Endowed Chair at the law school. It will support the teaching and research of a faculty member who's an active voice in constitutional law, human rights law, immigration law, and related public policy issues. That's all for this week's edition of Good Day DePaul. You can keep up with us by visiting our Vimeo channel at Good Day DePaul or by going to goodday.depaul.edu. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube. And if you have any news tips, message us through the Good Day DePaul social media channels. Thanks for watching. I'm Morgan Kirsch, and have a good day, DePaul.